Okay, morning everyone, welcome to Ian's RC Exploits. Something a little bit different again this weekend. The weather in the UK has been absolutely horrendous. I was due to fly this morning and I charged and got a plane ready, but sadly it was pouring down at the time I go flying. So what I thought I would do, I've been having a bit of a think, and I thought it might be a good idea or quite interesting to do what I'm calling a trip down memory lane, which I thought about all the personal goals that I had to do with flying RC models over the years, and I thought I would do just a little bit of a video just explaining what some of my personal goals were and what led me to sort of like produce the videos that I've produced over the years, you know, and just sort of like give a little bit of history, a little bit of information about, you know, the way I went about getting certain models and flying certain models and even building certain models. So I'm going to try and keep it, you know, not too long. I maybe do a couple of videos, but I'm going to sort of like start off with my first few goals really during the hobby, and what I'll do is I'll go through and maybe try and do a little bit of a voiceover while we're going through each section of the video. So sit tight, hope you enjoy. Sorry that there's no new content, but you know, I still like to put something on the channel for my subscribers to watch. So see you soon, bye. Okay then, so the first part of the video is basically the first electric helicopter that I bought a kit and built, the T-Rex 500E, or Old Faithful as I called it now. And it was an ambition, a massive ambition for me actually, to build a model helicopter, which I did with the Horobo Shuttle Plus 2. But this was the first sort of like electric helicopter that I wanted to build, and the second helicopter for me to build from a kit. And obviously it's a flybarred helicopter, so there's just a tail gyro, no sort of like self-leveling. It was just literally you know, dumb the controls down and just be very careful basically. So yeah, the Align T-Rex 500D, a massive goal for me to achieve, my first electric helicopter build, just at the hovering stage. This was the maiden flight. We're talking about, I think, about 10 years ago actually, 10 years ago. So there you go. Okay, so this was another of my goals that I achieved. What you see me flying here is the E-flite Mark 14 Spitfire. A little bit of a story about the Spitfire. One day, myself and Cheryl went to one of our model shops when we had one in the city centre. I think it was to look for a helicopter, and hanging from the roof was a beautiful foam 1.2 meter model Spitfire, and I just fell in love straight away. And Cheryl said, you know, well, if you want it, get it. And I said, well, no, I'm not at the stage really. At the time, I was just flying a 3-channel Cub, and then I progressed on to a couple of 4-channel sort of like trainer planes, and I think one was a Cessna. And then when the E-flite Mark 14 Spitfire came out, I just had to get it, and I had one of the first ones in the country really. So the unboxing video and the maiden flight did quite well, and you can see that I had to hand launch the plane because it wouldn't take off on the grass. And during this maiden flight, and we're talking about, you know, 9, possibly 8 years ago, I shouldn't have been flying a warbird. This was being flown with safe. You can see that I just slow it down, and you know, I'm just slowing far too much, and I only got away with it really because the plane was in safe, and that particular Spitfire is very very forgiving. And I remember thinking as I was flying around, my God, how am I going to land this thing? And I actually say at one point, oh, it's impossible because I just couldn't get the speed down, and I had no idea about flaps and using flaps. But anyway, I did manage to pull off a great landing, and that is the E-flite Mark 14 Spitfire. Okay, so another very important sort of like milestone for myself during my RC plane and helicopter journey was seeing this Dynam Tiger Moth on YouTube and thinking, I just got to have one. It's an iconic plane, obviously one that was used to train Spitfire pilots. And you can see me now. This is the maiden flight. After quite a sort of like difficult build because sadly mine came with a twisted tail. But anyway, it was put together and then weathered. I did a bit of weathering on the Tiger Moth, and this is me now going to do some sort of like taxiing runs. And after a couple of taxi runs, I thought, right, okay, that's it. I'm going for it, and I just took off. Different flying site. This was another park, um, sort of like quite a distance really from where I lived, and you know, this was quite a successful maiden flight. Again, what's this, 7 years ago? So I'd flown quite a few planes and helicopters at this point. Never a biplane, so this felt absolutely strange on the day, the maiden flight. And you could see as well that I was also experimenting with onboard cameras. So, I was doing this quite a long time ago, but always felt that it was just a lot of extra work and it didn't seem to help the views that I was getting at the time. So, it's not a new thing for people to be putting cameras on board planes. But it did give a good different perspective of the flight, and I enjoyed flying it, and I enjoyed the maiden flight. Although I was very very nervous this day because this was just flying with a bog standard receiver, no AS3X, no gyro at all. So I'm amazed actually looking back that this maiden flight went so well, and I actually flew it quite a lot, the Tiger Moth, and always tipped it over. But on this maiden flight, I managed to keep it on all three wheels. There you go. Okay, so this brings us now to 2017, so just a few years ago. Um, and yeah, this was a big deal for me, and that was flying my first EDF jet. This is the Arrows Hobby B.A.E Hawk 50mm EDF, and I can remember I was just so excited that I was going to fly an EDF jet for the first time. This particular model was running on a 3S 2200 LiPo, and I fitted it with an AS3X safe spectrum receiver. Possibly one of the worst hand launches I've ever done with an EDF jet, and you'll hear me comment um, because also now you can see with my videos were progressing to include sort of like photos at the start and music, and also I was doing a running commentary. So there's the hand launch, pretty lame really, but it was a successful maiden flight. Very, very difficult plane for Cheryl to film, and I think you can hear her moaning about it at some point. But, another personal goal of mine after watching people fly EDF jets on YouTube was, to give it a go myself. And I then bought the Marlin and also an Arrows Hobby shooting star as well, which I crashed on the maiden flight. But it was great to be sort of like experiencing a different type of RC model. Most of my planes had been obviously sort of like tundra style planes with high wings and big wheels, and now I was progressing on to
Just managed to get her up in the air, so
EDF jets.
selected the
So
front of my hand launcher.
took a lot of
So
flying, but it
she's
was a
flying lovely.
successful maiden flight, and I enjoyed it
Keep forgetting
immensely.
that she
Um,
hasn't got a rudder, she's
and
just yanking
you
back.
know, it was just sort of like a proud moment, really, because I could sense that possibly not the best pilot in the
Very,
world,
very
but
difficult to
you
shut up
know,
to be
my
honest.
flying was improving, and I was
Just do your
progressing
best,
on
please.
to more difficult models to fly. So a personal sense of achievement, and as I said earlier, you know, just another um, achievement really in my RC model journey. So there you are. This has been a trip down memory lane. Some of my personal goals as I've gone through uh, flying
Well,
model planes
surprisingly
and
nice to fly.
helicopters. If you've enjoyed it and you'd like me to do, you know, another video
Still
with
keep wanting
some
to
other
put
goals
rudder into it.
possibly, then let me know in the comments. But
We're
anyway,
on full power pass now,
you
so
know, this is not fresh content, but possibly a different type of format video,
well, not bad, you
um,
know. It's on its GS
just to keep the channel going
2200.
during this bad weather. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Well,
See
it's a
you
long
next
way to break,
time.
but she's damn
And
safe.
please don't forget to like, and if you're not
Okay.
subscribed, subscribe. Okay, see you soon. Bye.